said you didn't want to flush yesterday. Last night you said you didn't want to flush it. So what does that entail, not flushing it and facing it head on?
I mean, watching tape, owning it. But then you have to own poor play, lack of physicality. But that's not just the only answers. You also have to talk about things that we could have done differently from a game plan aspect. So it was a good chance to do that. You know, watch the film, everybody be honest with each other of what it was. You know, give them credit how well they played, and then knowing that we can be much better. And then I think you can flush something like that. You can't just say, hey, let's just have a mental day and move on. You know, we're good, we split. It's not the case. If we want to win game 3, things have to be different. Our mentality has to be different, 1. And 2, if our mentality is different, I think that allows you to be more impactful with your adjustments and what you can do to them to change the course of what we saw last night. So guys were great, like they've been, communicative. A lot of guys had thoughts on what they felt last night, and that allows you to move on and do things better tomorrow.
What was the prevailing thought? What was the prevailing thought just collectively among the group of what happened last night?
Yeah, I don't want to say we weren't ready to play. I think we weren't ready to play at that level. And when they came out the way they did it, I thought our reaction to it took a really long time to understand what the kind of game it was. And I said it last night. I can watch the tape and say, man, I thought Nikola, I thought he got hit. I thought people, whatever. But we reacted to them. And I mean that in the NBA playoffs, a lot of times the whistle and the way the game is played is who hits first. And I thought they hit first, second, and third. Like we did not react well after the first timeout. I thought we were sustaining. You know, we were down 6-7 there at the start. And I thought, okay, we're all right. But we weren't. And the amount of timeouts I had to use early in the game really put us in a tough spot because now you can't stop the game. And when it got really out of control, I can't control it. Yeah, I just thought the first hit, we didn't react well to it. And tomorrow we have to be the aggressor. I expect us to be. And just like in the Clippers series and times in the past, we've had tough losses. And like I said last night, just because we've been through that doesn't mean it's going to happen tomorrow. You have to actually go and do it. But at least we know we've done that before. Flip the script a little bit of how the game was played.
Yeah, everything kind of works together. Can you boil it down to if we rebound better, things happen differently? If we defend the like, can you boil things down to if one thing happened differently, it might start a chain reaction the other way?
I mean, you have to play at the same speed as them. And I'm not saying that we have people that are faster than Shea, but I felt like we were on our heels the whole time. It was in every area. The defensive rebound, I thought we didn't put hands on people until they got to the 18-foot mark. I mean, there's so many things about that game. They were playing so flat to their goal, and we were playing so far away from ours. And you just can't play like that. It's you know, spacing and all those things. You can talk about that stuff and say, oh, we got to do this, got to do that. Well, we got to screen. And you have to, you know, handle their first action defensively in order to do adjustments and things you want to do to impact them. And we just didn't do that last night. And watching the film, there's always multiple things as a coach. I wish I would have done this different or that different. But for us as a group, as the staff, the team, the guys that were in there, the guys that watch the film, it comes down to the mentality of how we play tomorrow. And we had a great mentality in game 1. And people can say, oh, you were behind in game 1 too, but it never felt in that game like we let go of the rope. And obviously last night there was multiple things happening. You know, I thought we let go of the rope, and I thought they absolutely played at an extremely high level. And that's why they won 68 games and swept the first round. So we know what the challenge is. And if we're going to meet this challenge and win the series, last night's effort wasn't good enough.
Do you think fatigue was in any way a factor in not doing all these things that you guys did last night?
I'll say this, fatigue is a word you can use when you lose in the playoffs, and that is a factor, but fatigue is part of what the postseason is. And when finding that next level, your second win, your third win, collectively finding energy from each other is how you win these games. And it's there's a million ways to break things down. You know, they're playing more people than you, or they had 8 days off. All those things are true, but the other truth is, well, we had enough energy to win game 1 after 2 days after a game 7. So why not have enough energy last night? So I think the guys have it. It's inside of them. And I think they'll bring it tomorrow night.
Given the circumstance of a 1-1 series back home, how do you view tomorrow with game 3? Is it pressure to wash yesterday away? Is it opportunity to take it to? How do you approach it with the team?
Same as I did the last series. Tomorrow's its own thing, and it's I'm not trying to sound cliche, but it really is. It's its own entity. You cannot think ahead in these things. Obviously, tomorrow the goal is to be up 2-1. That's the only goal, and to have that opportunity is what's so cool about the playoffs. It's just you have an unbelievable win with Aaron Gordon making close to a walk-off 3. To the next night, you get completely blown off the court. And guess what? It just means the same thing. And so you get to game 3, and you have another chance to be a better version of yourself. And that's the best thing about the playoffs. And those guys know it. And the way they walked in the building today, the way they watched the film, their eyes, how locked in they were as we walked through adjustments and things we can do better offensively and defensively, was a professional approach. And that's what you need in these things. You cannot overreact. And I said this before, if tomorrow night we win, good for us, then you move on to game 4. If for some reason they come in and things don't go our way, the series is not over. This is a 7-game series, first to 4. We know that. So it's about how you learn about yourself as you gradually go through the series. And you can't let go of the rope like we did last night, and I don't believe we will tomorrow.
You said a lot of guys had thoughts on their feelings from last night. What can you share about those feelings?
I think it was pretty collectively the same. There was some embarrassment there. There was a lot of people speaking up and saying, I can be better, which I love. And I think there was, the film never lies, that kind of thing. And you're watching the speed of how they played and the way we were playing. And, you have to challenge yourself to be better as an individual first. This is a team sport, but how do you help your team? You take a look at yourself and all the areas you could be better. And I think that it's kind of fun when you get blown out like that. The underrated thing about that game was early in the game, we missed a lot of really good looks. We did execute offensively early. And then when we got behind, like in the Clippers series in game 3, we sped up. And we're speeding up against a team that's faster than any team in the world. And so if that's your answer, that's going to be a problem. So we have to handle their pressure better, but with maturity, not by trying to outburst it and go faster. That's not going to work against this team. Okay, execution's going to work, a better defensive awareness to what we're trying to accomplish in that end. And if we do that and we can work our way to the end of the game, we have as good a chance as anybody in these close games. And that team, what they do, they've blown people out the whole year. And that's what they've done throughout the season. I think they only had 8 close games in the regular season, maybe 1 in the first round where they came back when Ja got hurt, and then obviously our game in game 1. So that's what they do. They try to overwhelm you. We have to handle that much better.
You guys didn't have the personnel to control the rebounding in this series. What did you feel like was different on the glass in game 2?
You got to block out. You have to hit a body. And that's their gift. Their gift is they can crash, and they have the ability to still get back and affect you in transition. I thought in the first game, we rebounded the ball very well on both ends. Found a lot of second chance points, gave ourselves opportunities to get out and run, which led to easy baskets against a great defense. So that's all part of the mentality. It's not just where your mind is, it's where your body is. And your ability and your want to has to be at a much higher level than it was last night.
One favorite is to, obviously, we say you're trying to take the ball out of his head off and force him to be a playmaker. It feels like most of the years the team's most effective way of dealing with him. When you put him in those positions, what do you see from him as far as the way he's reading the floor as a playmaker? And does it feel like he's doing that differently than he did in the regular season at a different level?
Yeah, I think he is like all great players, that he's going to take what you give him. I thought the problem with last night was we never slowed the ball down well enough to do anything to make him think about anything. It felt like we were always, getting back as he's attacking. And when that's the case, it's really hard to set your defense. And a guy that good, he has to see different looks. But to answer your question, I've noticed not just this playoffs, but throughout the season, yes, he is a prolific scorer. He's one of the best one-on-one players I've ever seen. But you can tell his feel for when to get off the ball at the right time has really improved. And I think sometimes what you do well at the start of your career, that's what you lean into. And as your career arc changes, you see guys that can have the ability to then do other things well. And he's done that. And I would use Nikola as the opposite. Nikola was a facilitating, rebounding center. That was your point center. And then there was this moment where he realized, well, I have to score for us to win big. So there's a flip side to all that stuff. And yeah, Shea's a really special player. He's handled things well against us. But like I said, we can't really impact him or affect him if we can't take care of the ball and we're not set defensively. It's hard to make adjustments against a guy that good.
OKC's really good at these guard screens.
Yeah.
Best in the league, to be honest. Why are those actions so tough to guard?
Yeah, Shea. I mean, seriously, it's tough because he's so good at taking up space. And so when you're trying to switch matchups possibly, you're trying to maintain a matchup and show and get back to him, the way he drives angles, it's very Allen Iverson-like. He gets to his spots so easy. So, yeah, actually, it's funny. Yesterday, that really wasn't a concern. I thought some of their double drag stuff was the concern. I actually thought we handled, outside of one time with Isaiah Joe where they ran something late and we had inverted a pick and roll, so there was some confusion with who was supposed to go up with Isaiah Joe. I thought we handled it okay. But you're right, they're the best in the league at it. They flip screens. It reminds me a lot of the year that Milwaukee won it with Giannis, and they would send up small after small after small, flip the screen, slip the screen. So they've been, well coached in that. But it's always easier to be well coached when you have a guy like Shea with the ball. But no, we talked about that today. You can't give him the same look all the time, and they bring up a different kind of person, and that changes your personnel-based coverage with him. So there's all those layers to it in the playoffs. So yeah, that's going to be an issue tomorrow, and if we have to, we can adjust and go to other defenses to kind of, nullify it as best we can. But yeah, he brings a lot of issues out there, man. He's a problem. Yep.